All right, podcast from Alexandria, Egypt. With we've got here Glenn Anderson, Rachel Clark, Kevin Morrison, and Paul Caycroft-Wilson. How are you guys? Everyone doing all right?
I'm good, thank you.
Outstanding. So we're in Alexandria, Egypt. Pretty warm outside. Sun's going down over the Mediterranean, and I guess we've all been in town now for 4 or 5 days. What's your initial observations of Egypt? Maybe Glenn, if you want to start us off.
Yeah, it's a really mixed country. The culture's obviously a lot different to back home, but there's some really, really nice places next door to some not so good places. Some things that you might turn your nose up if you're back home, but the place that we're racing, the actual beach is a really nice place. But when we landed in Cairo, driving out of there, that was a real eye opener for myself and for a lot of the team as well. It's nothing like I would have expected coming here.
Has anyone ever been? Any of you guys ever been to like an Arabic country before?
I've been to Turkey, but it's as close as I've come.
Yep.
And even that's probably a step ahead of Egypt, so...
Yep, a bit more developed.
That was Paul.
Come on, probably going to speak up, buddy. So, because one of the interesting things, I don't know if you guys have caught up with it, but you know how like a lot of the buildings here are sort of, they don't look really that completed? You might have noticed.
Yeah.
And that, apparently I heard the other day from one of the local taxi drivers that there's a tax here in Egypt that when you're building a property, once you finish your house, you have to pay a tax to the government.
Yeah.
So consequently, everyone who does any renos on their house, no one finishes the job. That's pretty reflective of what you see when you drive around the streets, isn't it?
Yeah. And the ones that haven't finished, they seem to have a tendency to fall over as well. We noticed driving back from the pool yesterday, we noticed 4 buildings, 3 were leaning on each other, and then there was one big one next to it holding the other 3 up. So when you drive through, there seems to be a few times where that method has failed and the buildings have all just come down. There's a few piles of rubble lying around as well.
They're all like 10 to 20 story buildings as well. We're not talking a couple of stories leading over. They're big buildings, you know.
Yeah. Yep. Rachel.
Rachel's here too.
Rachel Clark, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the conversation. Rachel, when you got on that bus that first morning you arrived, and you took, the team took that desert road up from Cairo airport up to Alexandria, across the desert road, and there was literally just sand everywhere, rubble, crazy stuff happening around the bus with cars and people doing crazy stuff. What was going through your mind?
It's a total different country to where we live.
I think one of the things,
and how I
found you find yourself forgetting is that this is one of the oldest places on earth, like civilization-wise. Egypt is, the ancient Egyptians is pretty much one of the oldest places there is. We're driving through Cairo with pyramids that are literally some of the oldest things that man ever made. And we come from a country that has a parliament that's nearly 200 years old. It's just nothing, and that's when you start to realise that you've got these buildings that just go for miles and miles and miles, and every single one looks like it's been hit by a bomb, and every single one has just been sandblasted for God knows how long, and everything's just shitty and old and dirty, and you just forget that we're just such a different place. That's the culture shock, I think.
Yep.
It's just everything is so old.
Yep.
And but it's good too. I mean, you're sitting there just going, nobody lived in our country when some of the stuff was being built.
Yep.
That's pretty hard to fathom, I think.
Absolutely, it's pretty crazy.
And just going on from what Rachel said, how our takes on the place when we first got here, how Rachel said it was pretty grotty, and I think the whole team had that sort of view when we got here. And a lot of us are probably going, oh no, what have we got ourselves into? But now we've been here for 4 or 5 days, we sort of have come to accept Egypt a bit more, and we have adapted and obviously taken in the different cultural values that they do every day. And now, it's good to experience it, really.
Yep.
You start to see the nicer things now, there's
the beach is real nice.
Yeah.
And some of the people that we've been meeting down that are set up at the beach is fair to say it's pretty awesome. You know what I mean? They're set up for not only ourselves but for the supporters that have come across. it's a cool place to be, and the locals along there, they're really friendly, you know.
Big smile and
You
a
take,
salam.
you take your dead with you because everyone wants to shake your hand, but
The standing part of the tool belt.
yeah, it is. But everyone here is really friendly, and the place we're staying is, it's a pretty nice establishment, and everyone here is looking after us pretty well.
What do you make the local driving on the roads?
Freaking crazy. They don't drive in their lane.
/ awesome for those people back home that have ever been to the Speedway and seen a demolition derby. There's a bunch of black and yellow Ladas, fast as they can go, which isn't, most people would know, terribly fast. As fast as they can go, 4 lanes, no one pays any attention to any lines or anything. There's no traffic lights, there's no, it seems like there's no law, but no one gets upset. Like
Everyone's cruising.
And then just inside that, throw in donkeys with carriages.
Yeah, the old donkey.
Donkey on the
Strolling
highway.
the street.
Oh, look out! Just drive around that donkey.
And then people trying to cross the road as well. And at some places on the Corniche, which is a road that runs along the sea here between the apartments and the ocean. At some parts it gets to 8 lanes, and it's it's organised chaos.
I think people just seem to wander out into the road like as if everyone's just going to stop for them, and they just casually walk out, don't even look, cruise out, and you just drive around them.
And it must be pointed out though that 3 to 4 people a day die on that road, and that's not, those are there know me. I'm not actually bullshitting here. 3 to 4 people a day die trying to cross the road. So we've been told by our hotel not to do it.
I actually saw a couple of people in black t-shirts with little silver ferns on their chests.
Yeah,
crossing that road.
Rhino nearly died apparently. No.
I think it was Scott and Corey. I think they tried to attack the road, and they are still alive, ladies and gentlemen. I can report that, but it was a bit of an experience for them.
It's probably interesting to note as well that our hotel that we were staying is directly on the road facing the ocean, but to get to the private beach, which is on the other side of the road, they actually say that you have to get the hotel shuttle to take you all the way around to the other side of the road, just because it's so dangerous to get across there.
For a Kiwi, isn't that just a bizarre thing to get your head around? The fact that it would be no more than probably 25 metres, 30 metres to the beach from the hotel building itself, but you actually have to get in a shuttle. Well, they recommend you get in a shuttle to get from the hotel to the beach, just to get across the road. It's
Which
just
is
crazy.
a private beach for this hotel.
Absolutely. And that's the thing in itself, isn't it? How strange is it to, we're so used to New Zealand, we probably take it for granted just being able to go to the beach and drop our gear down and go for a swim and think nothing of it. Here it costs you money to get onto that beach for a start. Obviously the local women, which we'll talk about a bit more in a second, but the local women can't just strip down to their togs and go for a swim. It's just not the done thing. It's a very different world.
Sure. It's hard to imagine how the guys around here pick their mates, of the female variety, because they all look the same.
It's definitely personality.
Oh, there's
Cool, isn't it?
all in black overcoats with the old burkas with black gloves, and they all look the same to me. Just height variations.
Rach, been a blondie from New Zealand. What's your take on that whole Muslim culture, particularly with the woman covering up? And it's 35 degrees out there during the day.
Real weird. I don't know how they handle it. Like, some of them have the whole burqa and then the gloves and mesh covering their eyes as well, so you can't even see any of their skin. So it's real weird. But
Could you exist in that kind of culture for
no,
too long?
I don't think so. I'm sweating in a singlet.
Absolutely, it's really warm out there. We're probably quite lucky on the coast here with that breeze. The first, when Paul and I were here a day or two before you guys turned up, we had a couple of days where there wasn't a lot of wind, and it was just so freakishly hot.
Which is alright, because coming from being in New Plymouth, we've been getting up around 11-12 degrees. We've had a storm the size of Aussie.